Yesterday was the NHL trade deadline, and the Detroit Red Wings are not in the playoff picture. I don't know if you guys know that.
They're not?
No, they are really, really bad.
They're one of the worst.
They are the worst.
Like of all time, right?
Yeah, it's right around there. Like
Feels that way.
Lions defense make the Red Wings look
It's tough.
bad.
Yeah.
So
And the Pistons right now. It's like
Yeah.
three-way tie.
oh, it's so fun. The Tigers aren't in last place though right now. I don't know if you know that or not. But
Yeah, it's
they're
early.
tied for first. And tied for last, but
Who?
the Tigers.
Spring training ball? Hey, did they plunk? They plunked Altuve.
Yeah, it was on accident though. It was a breaking ball.
Oh.
I think it was on accident.
It was a breaking ball. I actually didn't see that.
It was a breaking ball. So
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
yeah.
Whatever pitch it was, he deserves it. So.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be a fun thing to watch. As like, baseball is interesting.
We should
like it's not just a regional thing now. Like, I'm gonna be watching Sunday Night Football to watch the baseball to watch the Astros.
I think we need to do something for that, like keeping tally of all the Houston Astros that are hit all through the year.
It's going to be insane. I wonder what the over/under is.
83.
The over/under is at 83. Is that low or high?
That's low, I feel like, isn't it?
It's way too low. That needs
Yeah.
to be up by like, I don't know, 200.
I thought so too. That's what I just saw this today, and I thought, what, per player?
Yeah, I could totally see a game where if it just gets out of hand where there's like 5 guys hit
That's what I'm saying. Like,
over and over and over. Every
then-
team's gonna
Yeah,
feel that.
that's a good point. And there's still the accidental ones as well.
Yeah.
Maybe check that. I don't know. I saw a thing on. It was just on like a meme on Instagram or whatever, but it seems low to me.
You guys are distracting me, so I can't talk hockey.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
This is supposed to be hockey.
Well,
Hey,
that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, this is a baseball
so
segment.
beer,
Let's go.
beer scores here. So all right, so
Beer intros.
yeah,
Let's intro this beer.
I'll start over if you guys want to. I mean, I'm
keep
getting,
exploding. So.
yeah, right. All right, so the trade deadline was yesterday, Monday, February 24th at 3:00, and Yzerman made a couple deals with a familiar face, Ken Holland, and the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll just start what happened on, I think it was Sunday night, early Monday morning. The Detroit Red Wings acquired the Kyle Brodziak contract, who's retired due to injury, and a 2020 conditional 4th-round pick for Mike Green. The conditions are the 2020 4th-round pick upgrades to a 2021 3rd-round pick if Edmonton advances to the conference finals this year, and Mike Green plays in 50% of the games. Decent return for someone that nobody wants.
I feel like that's a steep price for him, right?
I think we did good on
That's a
that
good trade for the
one.
Red Wings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean it's quantity. That's the way I look at it. Is you got something for somebody that, I mean, that's basically the best you can do. Is the way I look at it.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, go get a role player.
Yeah, he very well may do well for them. I really think that'll be. I think he's a good fit there. But I don't really care. I mean, we just got another draft pick, and we'll get into that. We'll just get through all of them, then I'll try to talk about it.
Please do.
The other trade that he made, this was closer to the deadline, so they were kind of going back and forth. It sounded like Athanasiou was going to be traded to Carolina. Holy smokes! How do I? Nope.
Is it the Panthers?
Columbus. It sounded like he was going to be traded to Columbus, and then the Yzerman kind of sounds like he played the phones, called his buddy Ken Holland, and said, "Hey, this is what it's going to take to get Athanasiou." And for Andreas Athanasiou and Ryan Kuffner, who was an unsigned free agent by Ken Holland last season, Detroit Red Wings acquired expiring contract Sam Gagner, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2021 second-round pick. So you got 3 draft picks out of this this trade deadline. 3 players technically, 3 draft picks. I think Yzerman did a wonderful job when it comes to that.
Sure.
Usually this is when I ask what you guys think. I'm sure you don't have too much to think about. The way I look at this deadline as a whole was about getting quantity, and that's what he did.
When I see second round, though, I always think like, But
Because that's a basketball mind.
That's that's exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
Like a first round pick is so huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, a second round pick in the NHL, those are the guys. Look, you're going to win in high end talent, but you have to have those secondary guys that are, just as good, that are cheaper and that fill roles that you absolutely need, and do it in a way that, look, I mean, you can have I'm gonna go nerdy here, but you can have a Glendening and any team. But when you're Glendening that is a good centerman that can shut down a top forward on the other team, but also be putting in 15, 20 goals, those are your second round picks. That's not what Glendening was, so it's just kind of like, but that's, I mean, if you can get a defensive type player that can also put 15, 25 goals on the board, that's what you're looking for with second round picks. Yzerman has two of them, two extra ones to work with here in the next couple of years.
That's
and
awesome.
I think that's really exciting.
Are you're happy with the Athanasiou trade?
I am very happy with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
He's
look,
happy he's gone, right?
Well,
He's
I
always
didn't
hated
hate.
him for some
No,
reason.
I didn't hate Athanasiou.
That's not true. You hate him.
Look,
You hated him.
no, I really didn't hate him. I enjoyed watching him when he was out. I hated watching the Red Wings when he wasn't there because he's fun to watch. He's a very fun player to watch. I don't like. I mean, a lot of Red Wings fans look at the -45 and the plus-minus ratio and say, "Oh, he needs to figure out the defensive side of the." I think that's a bunch of crap. He's a goal scorer.
He's on a
flashy.
terrible team.
He's on a terrible team. Look, he scored 30 goals last year. He's a 30-goal scorer in the NHL. That is high. Like, there's not a lot of guys that can do that.
That's true.
And look, I mean, there's so many people that look at the Red Wings and like, well, you have these scoring guys that don't know how to play the defense. They need to figure out both sides. No, wingers don't need to play defense. Score goals. That's what your center and defensemen are for. I mean, yeah, you got to have some kind of defensive abilities and, you know, guard your point and be a option on the breakout. That's what a winger needs to do. I don't need a winger to be good defensively, in my opinion. I've never thought that in my life. And I played hockey my whole life. Wingers don't do a whole lot in the defensive zone anyways. They really, truly don't. Yeah. Look, it is never a winger's fault that somebody scores a goal. More times than not. I mean, yeah, it could be your point guy, but that's really rare on 5-on-5. So
do you think this was a good trade for the Oilers too, though?
I do. So, and I think that's where a lot of I think he's gonna be very successful in Edmonton because that's kind of their way.
Athanasiou, not Mike Green, right?
Well, I think he could be. I mean, he's not going to. He might break their power play too. He's a good power play guy when he has the right guys around him. It'll be really interesting to see where he kind of fits in on that team. It's really hard to say. He's an older guy, experienced, but he still has offensive ability, good skater as well, which is important. That's the one that I'm interested to see how it fits. I think Athanasiou is going to fit in really well. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to light it up. I really, truly do. He's one of those guys. He's very streaky. I mean, if you follow the Red Wings, he's a really streaky guy. He went from like 5 goals to 12 goals in the last 3 weeks because that's just the way he works. And he would go 10 games without a goal and then score 5 in 2 games. Like, it's just crazy how that works. I think it's going to work out really well for him. And I want to caution Red Wings fans to not look at it that way. Like, we lost this trade because look at how good he is or anything like that. That's not the way you got to look at this trade. I mean, you got something for someone that you are not going to re-sign long term.
Yeah, he's not a building block, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's available.
Yes.
And we just heard Steve Yzerman talking tonight, and you got to give somebody up. It's just the way it works with a team that like they have right now. You can't hold on to every good player. You have to decide who you're going to build around, and then you have to ship everybody else out. It comes at a cost.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's costing the Red Wings any more wins because they're so bad. So this is not impacting the future.
There are none to cost us.
There are none. If they could win 10 more games, they'd still have the worst record.
Yeah. So, I mean, this I looked at this deadline as getting quantity, and that's exactly what Yzerman did. Now it's time to turn that quantity into quality, whether it's hitting, like if he makes these draft picks in the second round, with these Oilers picks, yeah, you could get a decent player, but I think of it more as packaging them together to trade up and get who you want when you want them. You know what I mean? If you want to move up 2 spots in a draft because you want to get a centerman that is going to get picked between where you're at, and I mean, there's a lot of movement that happens in the NHL draft. Like this, that's when these become truly valuable. When these quantity picks, you know, you can go get what you want and when you want.
Yeah, you collect assets.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you know, so you look at the second round picks, and I can't help but look at what Yzerman did with the Lightning with the second round picks. There are two big names that you got them? Or?
No, sorry. I was just going to ask you.
Yeah.
My point was, is this how he did it?
It is.
Okay. Yeah.
He did it in Tampa. I mean, he had the high end picks. He had Stamkos already on the roster. He was a first overall pick. There was another one that came. I think it was Victor Hedman. I want to say was a high end draft pick. Those were the nucleus for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But when you're getting Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov, who became 40-goal scorers in the second round, that's where, I mean, that's exactly how it's done right there. And Yzerman did that. Look, and if he makes these picks and he turns them into something, great. Love it. But I look at it as just, I mean, really, whatever. Just, they're lottery picks. You know what I mean? They're lottery tickets. This is what Yzerman keeps calling them. They're lottery tickets, and you hope you're scratching off the right one. And that's what the NHL draft is, because they're 18-year-old kids.
And now they have
you don't
more.
know who's going to develop. You have more of them. You have more, and I think that's the key to this deadline. We're going to be in the same boat next year. We're not going to be good. You're going to. I mean, I would love to see Daly moved, because he's expiring contract, but nobody wanted him. You weren't going to get anything. You would have got less than you got for Green, for Trevor Daly. Next year, you're going to be in the same boat with like Helm, Glendening, Filppula. Those guys are going to be in like basically the Athanasius and Mike Greens. We're going to be in the same position. We're going to be selling. I'm convinced of it. And we'll see. I mean, you're going to continue to get assets, more picks, and that's exactly how you have to rebuild in this NHL. It's not about spending money. It's not about overpaying, anything like that. I mean, you look at the Leafs. They're overpaying for John Tavares, who was a prized possession. Now, all of a sudden, they're struggling to even make the playoffs. So, beat a 42-year-old goalie. But
That's right.
so, I mean, it's interesting. All in all, I thought it was a successful trade deadline. You're not going to get anything out of it. You're not going to get first-round picks for any of these guys. I'm sorry, but that's just not the case. So, I mean, you're going to have some people that are looking at the Mike Green trade and being like, hey, we need them to be really good. We want the Edmonton to make the conference finals and turn that fourth-round pick into a third-round pick. No, that's not the way you want to look at it. You want them to suck. You want them to miss the playoffs. You want them to be in the lottery, do very good in the lottery, and all of a sudden that second-round pick for Athanasiu that you got is going to be a top 10 pick in the second round.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Like, I mean,
that's the other side of the coin. Yeah,
exactly.
It's worth more than the fourth.
It's worth
turning into a third.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. So I look at it that way. So I think that's what the Red Wings fans should be cheering for, is Edmonton to suck. Not only for Ken Holland purposes, but for draft purposes. So, a couple more things that I wanted to bring up before we turn the page for the Red Wings, probably for the year until the lottery.
We will hold you to that.
Year? Did he say the year?
He said the year.
For 2020?
Season.
Until the lottery, he said, yeah.
Or until something else happens that's worth talking about.
So next week.
How do I rewind the recording? I got to cut that out. I got to remember that.
Are there any prospects that might get some NHL time, in your opinion?
Look, I mean...
Is there like a yes and a don't expect category?
You guys are being mean. All right, so everybody's going to be talking about more T-side. Yeah, go for it. Talk.
Well, yeah, I think I have
some
prospects that I think will probably get some NHL time this year. This is just my opinion, though. Chalowski, I think he probably... I mean, he's been doing really well in Grand Rapids. I think Rasmussen could really have a chance here. Hickett's another big name. Maybe second-round pick. Was he a second-round pick?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. And then Giovanni Smith is another one I think has kind of earned it, in my opinion.
If I can hop in on guys not like... Okay, Yzerman already said. Sider, there's no way. Veleno, there's no way.
Yeah, no way.
And McIsaac, I don't see it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see it.
He's just not this year.
No,
not
this year.
Not this year.
No.
Hey, Sam, note to self, don't send them your show sheet already filled out.
What do you think, Sam?
All right, so I love your guys' points there. You guys nail it right on the head.
Good points, right?
Yeah, it was excellent. With Chalowski, I look at it more as you need to know what he is. He's not really. He's been up a little bit. He was up a little bit last year. He has problems. I don't know what it is. It sounds like just mental issues. Who really knows? And he gets confused. It's too fast for him. I have no idea. We need to know if he can play at the NHL level moving forward because he is a building block piece if he can figure it out. Rasmussen is having a good year in Grand Rapids. He played all of last year in Detroit until he got injured. He's one of those names that people are going to forget about because you have Zadina, you have Veleno, you have Seider, you have all these other guys that kind of surpassed him. He's still a very young goal scorer that could be very successful in the NHL if he figures it out. I'm very excited about Rasmussen.
Is he one of our first-round picks?
He was a first-round pick, I think, 2 years ago. Is what?
All right, it's ringing a bell. Yeah.
Yeah. He had a very good Quebec Major Junior career, very high scoring player. But everybody is in that league. So Hickett's is kind of coming up to you got to figure him out. He's never going to be a top 6 forward. Defenseman. Top 4 defenseman, I should say. But could he be your 5-6 and fill in? That's what we need to know. And Giovanni Smith is proven to just kind of be a big body. That he's going to be a 9 to 12 forward type thing. So not going to be a high-end player, but can he be the role players so you can let some of these veterans go or just sit them because they suck? I don't expect Seider. I don't expect Veleno. I don't expect McIsaac. I think Yzerman was pretty clear on Seider. Just don't get your hopes up. Just kind of take a step back and let these guys develop. Let them play in Grand Rapids for something and not come into the NHL and play on a garbage team. Is the kind of way I look at it. So,
also, we live in Grand Rapids.
We do live in Grand
Rapids.
Nice yeah. How many games have you been to this year to
6.
see all these prospects? We should go to a game. Have you?
We should.
Yeah, you did go to a game. That's right.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
My whole company went and I didn't go.
I thought you were there.
No, I went last year. I went twice last year. But this year, no, I had a certain surgery in a certain male region.
Whoa.
You didn't have a neighbor that you wanted to give the tickets to?
I
couldn't go either.
I gave to the Germans.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did they like it?
They loved it.
Oh,
They had a great
them.
time.
Nice.
Yeah.
They probably loved seeing Seider.
I don't think they knew who he was, but
He's
they
German.
They liked
loved
the
it.
show. That's what they told me. They're like, they really liked the show.
Is
The whole
that what
thing.
they
They were
said?
like, the hockey? Yeah, no idea. No idea what happened, but the show was great.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.